Big game this week, obviously, against the Eagles. You have some experience in that division. What stands out the most about their offense?
They run the ball very well. They have a lot of weapons on the outside. And, they got Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. He's really good. He's a winner. So, yeah.
And what do you notice about those two receivers and, how different their play style is?
AJ, he's a bigger, stronger receiver, try to be more physical. And Devontae, he's more of a smaller, shifty guy that like to go deep. So, yeah.
When you lose a guy like Ahkello in that DB room, how do you guys, try to just replace that production? And he was also a leader. So how do you move on from that and.
Of course, we're going to have shoes to fill, but, we always got to step up. We professionals, and we have a lot of vet guys in the room that has played a lot of football, so that plays a factor also. And we just continue to get better each day and just work forward to Sunday.
Through the first couple games in this defensive scheme, how do you feel like it, enhances your strength and feeds into what you're good at?
Honestly, just let me use my athleticism and my route recognition. Just playing a lot of zone, and just let me go out there and play freely and just play ball, honestly.
And people ask Coach McVay if they think this is a measuring stick game for where these two teams are. What do you think about that statement and, how this game could reflect on where these two teams are?
It's still early in the season, just week 3, so, we're just looking forward to get better until we get into division play and just, like you said, it's a measuring stick. So we're going to see where we're at and see what we need to work on and see areas that we're good at, honestly. So, yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good night.
Going into a big game in week 3 against the Eagles, what stands out the most about their defense?
For me, I think it's the competitive, how they continue to stay competitive throughout the whole game. They got players from the front line to the linebackers and to the secondary. And so, to me, I think it's the challenge and the excitement is being able to know that we're going into another week and another week of a challenge. Continue to hone in on our skills, continue to grow as an offense, as a team, as a defense, and in the kicking game as we know that we are, and just continue to keep having fun with the game.
And you guys had a good bit of explosive runs this past game. What do you think contributed to that success and having a little bit of those longer runs?
Yeah. It obviously starts with the front five and the tight ends, man. They really put their hands in the ground. They came off that ball. It's starting the dominance from the get-go. They started happening later on in the game, but we continue to keep trusting, the front five, like I said, our linemen, and as running backs that we got to continue to be detailed, pressing our line of scrimmage, pressing the holes, and pressing the heels of the linebackers, and then being who we are. God gave us this ability to go be great running backs, and we got to continue to keep using that.
What have you seen growth-wise from Blake so far this season?
I think he's understanding and control of the game. As you see on the field, there really is none of that little hoppiness, none of that stuff. He's just straight down. He's reading his gaps, he's reading his blockers, and he's pressing them and he's hitting them. So shout out to Blake because he's grown so much. And I know there's the ceiling. I mean, not even the ceiling. The sky's not even a limit for him. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do.
Do you feel like, his opportunities give you a little bit of a breath and able to get you a little bit more steam on those longer runs?
Yeah, for sure. I think him being able to come in and just spell me allows me to, see the game from a different lens, see the game from a different perspective. And like you said, get my breath back whenever those long runs are needed. But, just continuing to be a two-headed backfield, man, it's so cool. It's so cool to be able to feed off each other. It's so fun just continuing to see how, like I said, how far that each of us can go.
And obviously, you guys played against the Eagles twice last year. What stood out the most specifically about the front and the interior of that defense?
I just think it starts with 98. Jalen Carter is not a secret, especially with me. He's knocked the ball out 3 times against me. And so going into the game, I know I got to have that ball locked up. I know I got to have it in the right hand. But, for me, it's just another exciting challenge. It's I wouldn't even say a redemption. It's just another chance to go show them who I am. Not give them our – kind of go out and just how I was last year or the years before that, man, just continuing to know who I am, know my skill set, and just continue to go work.
And, Coach McVay was asked about if this, it's like a measuring stick game to, see where these two teams are. Do you look at it that way?
Nah, this is another game in the NFL, man. Honestly, my whole life I've always seen my opponents as faceless. We gotta go we gotta go play somebody, but it doesn't matter who it is, man. We gotta continue just to, like I said earlier, hone in on our skills, hone in on what we do the best, and continuing just to grow. And this week, another week of opportunities. This is a week 3 in the NFL of a long season. So no, we're not gonna use this game as a measuring stick or none of that. We're just gonna continue to learn and continue to grow.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyren. Appreciate you, man. All right, Q, you got big game against the Eagles this week. What stands out most about their offense?
You'd look at it from all three levels of, from skill group to tight end to receivers to quarterback to, everything. They got it all. There's a reason why they won the, world championship last year. But it's a new year. Got a lot of guys that came back. Really, I think their whole offense, other than maybe their right guard, came back. They lost Mekhi Becton to the Chargers, but still the Eagles that we know. It's going to be a tough challenge, but we're excited for it.
Saquon Barkley, obviously a great back. Sean talked about, limiting those vertical seams. How, as you, who's somebody who, plays in different spots, but, primarily as that star guy, help, eliminate those?
Yeah, a lot of it is just effort, never thinking that one person is going to make the play. We talked about it this morning. It's really going to be all 11 to the ball, and that's what we kind of been preaching. And we did a good job of that in practice today by everybody running to the ball because, Saquon, that's a tough one-on-one tackle for anybody. There's a reason why they call him 2K save, because, he was able to break tackles and, create yards after contact. But, yeah, it's going to be all 11 to the ball, population to the ball. And, I'm excited to see who can get a punch out against him. That'd be great. Hopefully it's Landman. He's been, killing it. But, always making sure that we're having ball attempts and, not making it easy for the ball carrier to run the ball.
And speaking of Landman, how do you feel like he's contributed not just to the overall growth of this defense, but really, to the run game in particular?
Yeah, he's been killing it. He's very, very smart, and to come in the offseason and pick up this defense the way he has, it's been, impressive on his part. And not only that is, he's a great tackler. Not in the open space, when he's taking on blocks as well, gets good extension. So he's been great in the run, and obviously he's known for the punch outs, and we saw it. It was just destiny for him to get one, especially in that first game. But even more than that, though, his physical ability on the field, you can hear it. You can hear him. He's such a vocal leader too, and everybody understands why he's captain because he's earned it. His vocal leadership, the way he's carried himself on and off the field, it's been amazing. So I can't wait to see his growth. And again, this is going to be a great challenge for him, but I know he's going to, do everything he can to, take on the challenge head on. It's going to be fun.
And as a captain yourself, going into a big game against a good opponent in week 3, how do you, want to set the tone and what message do you want to deliver to the team about this game?
Yeah. Some people say like, hey, it's just another game. It's not just another game for us, really. This is you have to make this game mean more. In the last, I want to say 2 years almost, well, really the last 2 times we played him, we came up short. The time we played him in the regular season last year, it wasn't our best performance defensively, and then, we fell short, in the playoff game too. So, you have to rise to the occasion. It's not like, I understand it's week 3. Yeah, I get, it's still early in the season, but this is like, for us, this is like a playoff game, because it hits closer to home. This is an opponent that's really good. This is an opponent that we can potentially see later on in the season. So, we got to take it, very, very serious and act like, this is like almost like, I'm not going to say a Super Bowl, but you have to highlight this game. There are certain games on your schedule that you have to highlight, and this is one of those games.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Keith. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.